Welcome to KJ TV. Today with us we have Pastor Ezra Kenyanya, who is the youth pastor, Kenya Community Church, and also the program manager for strategic initiatives and partnership. He is a graduate of Andrews University for community development.
Yes.
Welcome, Ezra.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me here, and I am grateful to have this opportunity to be here and speak on issues and matters that are personal and dear.
Okay.
Yes.
So, tell us who you are, your journey through to become a pastor.
Now that's a long conversation, but in a nutshell, again, as you heard, my name is Pastor Ezra Kenyanya. I currently pastor at Kenya Community Church as a youth pastor. The truth be told is that I don't have a background in theology, but I've always loved spiritual things. Was raised in a spiritual home.
Okay.
My parents, my siblings, all of us, that was not an option in our homes. So it is who I am.
Okay.
I went to school in University of New Hampshire. I did my biology there. Then I pursued my master's in community and international development. Okay. And during this time, I did a lot of programs and initiatives. Traveled back to Africa, visited countries like Ethiopia, Tanzania, Zambia, Uganda, just doing community and development programs.
Okay.
And simply because I am a Christian by nature, it was always perceived that I'm a theologian because I went to Andrews.
Okay.
And that's what it's known for.
Andrews, yeah, actually, that's what I know.
Andrews is known for theology, but it has other programs. And so I did community international development. And I think for me, the beauty about that is because you can be a Christian who does not value your community.
Okay.
You can be a Christian who does not understand who your neighbors are and what they do and where they are. So I believe in a practical, realistic, humanistic driven aspect of religion. So that's who I am.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So yeah, many people know that it's good to clarify.
Yeah.
But always, and then what then motivated you to become a pastor?
What motivated me to become a pastor? Pretty much the title pastor means to oversee, to look over someone, and to take care, to mentor, to shepherd. And I think it's a calling. First of all, I'm a firstborn.
Okay.
So I had to shepherd my siblings.
Okay.
Secondly, I grew up in this community. I grew up in Minnesota before I transferred, and I went to Michigan and later on New Hampshire, then later on Michigan. But really what drove me back here to Minnesota was the experience that I had.
Okay.
Coming from Africa, 1.5 generation, I usually say, there's a generation I call ABCA, Africans born confused in America. You don't know if you're Kenyan or you're American,
Okay.
That generation. I think that's what really inspired me, is to work with the younger generation that sometimes we want to value and want to keep our traditions and our culture, but at the same time we're growing in this country and there's a spiritual aspect to it, and sometimes this can cause an identity crisis to the young people. So purely motivated by the fact that I knew that I could have used some hand of help in certain aspects of my life, and I think I want to often lend that back to the youth who are growing here.
Okay. Well, that's something you have said that is a calling.
Yeah, it is. Pastor is a calling.
It's a calling.
Yes.
So is that not everybody who goes to theology school or seminary school?
For sure. No, there are people who don't have a medical degree, but they have an inclination and the heart to help people.
Okay.
So, but then again, you can't operate me if you don't have
Even if you don't be okay. Yeah.
So I think the theological school reinforces and affirms the theological teachings and the doctrines and the beliefs. But the calling itself, you look at people who just have a natural calling to care, to love for people. Just, wherever they are, you call them, they will be there. It's just a gift that God gives them.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Now, what are some of the challenges facing churches today? Not particularly a church.
Yeah.
A church in general, do you understand?
Religion as a whole is going through a crisis because when you think about Islamophobia, that's a religion in itself. You start thinking about Catholicism, and you think about Adventism, you think about you know, even Hinduism, you see what's going on in India between the Muslims and the Hindu. So spirituality as a whole is a part of who we are. If I'll speak in context of Christianity, the challenge we are facing is that first, especially in the Western countries, Christianity is not growing as fast as it, you know, the gospel came to Africa by missionaries.
Okay.
But then we come here now as immigrants, and we find that we are the ones who are actually bringing that gospel back here.
Yeah.
So there's a disconnect there. The other challenge is that extremists, you know, there are people who claim to be Christians, but their value, their standards, their life, you know, they have a theological understanding. Actually, I was reading an article on Washington Post this morning of a racial family. This couple, they wanted to get married down south, and they booked a venue for their wedding. When they found out that one of the couples was black. Yeah, so they decided that they're not going to rent out the venue because they don't do biracial weddings. Wow. And when the lady was asked, she said that, you know, we are Christians and our Christianity does not allow us to do that. And so when you start having those skewed perceptions of Christianity, then that's another challenge, because I don't want to be part of that religion, if that's what you call Christianity.
No,
so I think taking things out of context, extremist, and those will always be there. So those are some of the challenges. Growth, Western culture, you know, the lifestyle here, and then also thinking about people who believe in Christianity but they don't practice it in truth.
So now that you have spoken that there is actually a spiritual fervency going on in America and Europe. Actually, even me, they say most of the churches, former churches in Europe, they are being sold to become clubs now.
They are. That's the reality. That's the reality.
So then, do you think we have reached a spiritual awakening, or
we do need a revival? But again, sometimes, you know, numbers don't necessarily translate to spirituality.
That's true.
But the challenge that we are facing, to be honest, I'm an Adventist, so let me use the statistics from an Adventist perspective. The Adventist church started in North America.
Yes.
Currently, as we speak, over 40% of the membership of the Adventist church is in Africa, then followed by Asia and South America, closely at the 30s and 20s around percentage there.
Yeah.
In North America, the Adventist church has a population of around 7%. In Europe, the Adventist church has a percentage of around 2%. But the interesting fact is not only that the percentage numbers, it is also the fact that close to 50% of those 7% in North America are immigrant churches. You think about the Kenyan churches in Minnesota. You start thinking about the Ghanaian churches. You think about the Hispanic churches. So you're seeing that as much as the denomination started in the West, it's dying in the West, and it's doing very well in third world and developing countries.
Wow.
Yeah. So
now then, from that, I will ask you a question. Where do you see Christianity to be in the next decade?
You know, I want to be optimistic and believe that these numbers will hold. I hope they will hold.
Okay.
My ideal will want to see where there's growth, and I'm not talking about growth in terms of numbers, but I'm talking also growth in terms of values and beliefs, and actually teaching and preaching that love that we talk about, where, you know, regardless of your gender, regardless of your race, regardless of your tribe, we can sit at the same table, we can see each other as human beings first, before we classify you with everything else. But I think that there is a downward spiral for the Adventist church, for the Christianity as a whole in terms of numbers. Let's talk politically.
Yeah.
There was a time where in North America, evangelicals,
they would make a decision.
They will decide who become the president.
That's true.
You know, you will think about a time where Catholicism, you know, it just. But today, we're not even talking about that. No, you know, we're not talking about those subgroups as influencers of what the trajectory of politics will take in this country. So I think that we're on a spiral, and I hope that will change at some point.
We hope so.
That's what I'm praying and hoping for.
Now, and another question. Most of the young people, and being a youth pastor, and that's why I'm directing you that question, that most of the young people are not taking church business seriously. What advice can you give them?
I think there's two things, and I just have to be open and say that I don't think young people have a problem with Christianity.
Oh, they don't?
I think the challenge sometimes comes with institutions.
Okay.
So, for example, let me think how to phrase this. We are seeing a decline in terms of the millennials, especially the millennials.
Yeah.
When we think about a lot of congregations, you will see the average median age will be probably around upper 50s. I mean,
yeah.
60,
60s,
yeah,
60,
60s,
yeah.
right? And then you don't see the 40s, the 30s, that generation. You don't see a lot of them in the church.
Yeah.
So there is no future for the church if we keep up with that trend. I think the challenge and the struggle is that sometimes we also have to adjust and adapt in certain things.
Okay.
For example, let me speak. We work in a place, we're in a world where the millennials will ask you why.
Okay.
But growing up in the 60s, there was no room for why.
There's no room for why.
There's no why. My father said, the adults spoke, and that's what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
So when those whys are asked, sometimes we can feel as though why we're being questioned, our authority is being questioned. So I think the young people have gone out there. They have seen people who are authentic. They have seen organizations that are authentic. They are going to they are working in organizations where there is order, there is professionalism.
Yeah.
And sometimes we do lag behind as a church in those areas. So we do lag behind. Secondly, though they leave, a number of them still believe in a higher being.
They do.
They do believe in a higher being.
But they question the institution.
But the institutions where sometimes they have a challenge.
Okay.
So I think when we start talking about this higher being more and less of the institution, we will not lose many of them. But when we talk more of the institution and less of the higher being, then that's when we start running into a problem.
So actually, as you say about millennials, in the market now, in the corporate world, they have done research about the millennials. Even now, you go to corporate offices, they have created where millennials don't want cubicles.
Oh yeah,
they have open.
They have restructured the office.
It's because of the research.
Yes.
Can we say that our church institution is not doing research to understand what the millennials are, what they want, either they tailor services to attract them?
I think the church does research, but I think there are a couple of, it's a multifaceted problem. For one, when you work in a corporate, you're getting paid.
Yes.
You can be fired.
Yeah.
In church, you cannot fire a
you
young
cannot
person.
fire.
You're not paying them to be there. There is choice. I woke up here and came here by choice. Number one. So that also puts pressure on the church, because even if you do all the research, what's the incentive? Because I'm not here because I want to pay my bills. Number two, I think that even if you restructure, there's a number of factors that go into this. For example, Kenya communities are purely Kenyan church. Then you have a church like Southview, which is a multiracial church. Then you will have some churches that are predominantly of, let's say, Ethiopian, Liberian design. So it's not only the issue of the religion itself, but there's culture in there that also comes in. But you see, as a Kenyan, I cannot bring my culture to my workplace.
Yeah.
So it's the standards is the policies. But now when we bring the culture of Christianity, the culture of my race, the culture of my ethnicity, and then we get to a place where now we are dealing with the younger people want upbeat type of worship. The older folks are saying, this is the traditional way, this is what our religion taught us, this is how it's supposed to be. There's a clash of cultures in there. So we're dealing with multifaceted. That's why I keep on saying that when we look at all those problems, the one thing that is going to be constant is the person we worship. Everything else
is secondary.
And let me use a practical example. I had a chance to go speak in a Korean meeting. Camp meeting. And after being there the first day, there was no emotions. I mean, I preached my heart out. They all looked at me. You go to a Caucasian church, they will nod their head at least. You go to an African American church, they will run in the church. And now you're saying, these all Adventists, but the reactions are very different.
Very different.
So I was preaching in this Korean camp meeting. On Saturday, after being there for a whole week, I managed to crack a joke and they laughed. One man came to me afterwards and said, congratulations for making Koreans laugh.
Eh.
They don't laugh.
They don't laugh. They
And I said, why? He said, you know, because of communism, we suppress our feelings and our emotions.
Okay.
Even when you see their preachers present, they are almost reading. Because this is historically what communists taught them.
Okay.
So if I'm going to readjust a church where I have a Korean, and I have a Caucasian, and I have an African American, what system are we going to follow?
That is very hard, and I was talking to, when Melinho asked me a question about the church, he said, we go to elementary school, we graduate, we go to middle school, we go to high school, we go to college, we graduate, we go out.
Yes.
Does it mean people who come to church, they don't graduate, they don't learn about God, graduate, and leave?
That's a good question.
It's a good question.
That's a good question.
Eh.
The answer to that is that, no. You never graduate from learning and knowing who God is. Let me give an example. You've been married for a long time.
Yeah.
Can you sit down and say you've understood your wife completely?
No. Not really.
So if you can't understand a human being, even your child, you look at your child a few years later, I thought I understood my son. I thought I raised you well. What happened?
What happened?
So how can you understand the one who claims to know the entire universe to a point that you can say I've graduated?
So then I think that's a pertinent question. They were saying that it's a high time for all people to move away from church so that the young people can... I mean,
so
that they need to
integration of leadership. Okay, I hear what you're saying. Now I understood differently. But I think let's step outside the walls of the church in a second.
Yeah.
Let's talk about African leadership. How old was Mugabe?
92.
Did he step down? He was forced out.
He was forced out. Yeah.
How old is Museveni?
Hey, 75.
How long has Kagame been in power? Right. How long was Moi there?
Yeah, very long.
So you're looking at the issue of handing down leadership.
Leadership.
It's not even a Christian problem. It's a human problem.
It's a human problem.
It's a human problem. Because we want to cling to power as much as we can.
Yeah.
Now, we have to do a better job to understand that church is not about power.
Yeah. But then, you see, like the way you were saying, then we need to strike a balance.
Yes.
Because if we have been all in the church,
yes,
we also need to accommodate this. I think.
For sure.
And I think that is why the church is not changing that fast, because
there is a need of collaboration between the elderly and the young ones. There is always wisdom in the council of elders. I'm a young person. I should be speaking on behalf of the young people saying they need to be out. But let me say this. I have learned that young people, we can be very irrational. We run so fast, and then when we make mistakes, then we come
then
back.
we come back home.
Right? So we are very energetic. The elderly should take advantage of our energy and allow us to be creative and innovative, but just to guide and provide that structure, that mentorship, that leadership that is needed. I think when we strike the right balance, and there's a lot. Let me use a simple example. My father came here, brought us when I was a teenager. Now, right now, even if we are to say, let's engage the local community, who's our local community? We are looking around, we are seeing Caucasians, African American, all these ethnicities. My father still speaks Kisi. Still interacts and mingles with the Kisi community. How does he get out and reach out to these other communities? I'm not saying he can't. But then my younger brother went to elementary school here, middle school here, high school here, pretty much is here. He will understand best how to mingle with this community, but he may not understand the historical context of the church and the nurture and growth. And so how do you bring these two ideas together to reach this community and this neighborhood that we are targeting? Both groups have to.
Yeah, we are just like zeros, actually. We are silos.
I know.
We are so structured, and that is something which your generation needs to work on, actually.
Yeah.
Because as you said, with your experience on a church camp meeting, that what you learned about the Koreans, I would think you are the youth, you need to understand the old people.
Yes.
And you are the people who need to learn from us.
I do agree. I will say that I will always go back to this and say there's lessons that we can learn from each other.
Yeah.
For example, let me say this for a fact. Some people have asked, would you ever open a youth church? Asked me. My answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, why? I don't trust the youth either. I'm one of them.
You don't trust them?
I don't trust myself. Okay. Let me begin from that. And here's an example.
Yeah.
If I hear tomorrow there's an event in Chicago, I'm gone. I don't have responsibility. I don't have children. I'm gone.
You are gone.
Right? If I hear tomorrow that this is the movement where we are heading, I'm in that bandwagon. If I hear there's a game tomorrow Toyoyo is playing, I'm there. So if these are the people, but if I know that my elders are there in church, before they think of going,
they will think about how
they think about a lot of things. They think about the church. They will have to consider their family. They will have to consider the repercussions. They will plan everything. But us as young people, we don't consider. We deal with the repercussions afterwards. And then now you're
that is something for you.
So it's looking at that and saying there's growth. There's growth.
It's a map showing what religions.
Okay.
So you can see on blue, the blue.
Yes.
That blue, that's Christianity.
Yes.
So Christianity pretty much is in Europe, in some Russian place, and then America.
Yes.
Islam, you can see is green.
Yes.
This is pretty much where Islam has covered.
Middle
East and North Africa.
Yes.
And then we have Judaism, which is in Israel only.
Yes.
Then we have Hinduism in India. And
yes.
then in China, the major religion is Buddhism.
Yes.
So now, when you see that world map,
yes.
how is it divided among these world religions?
Yes.
And Jesus' commission was that the gospel will have to be preached in the whole world.
Yes.
Before the end comes.
Yes.
Now, what milestone are we to cover? I just assume that it needs to cover the whole to be blue.
Yes. The gospel commission is very clear. Go ye therefore to the world.
Okay.
The whole world. And I have no doubt it will go to the whole world.
Okay.
Does that mean that everyone will go to every place? I don't believe that we will all go to all places.
Okay.
But what I believe is this. There is increase of knowledge. There is technology that has come in place. This is going to be one of the ways.
Okay.
Nowadays, you just post a clip. It goes viral.
It goes viral.
Look at what happened in Tunisia. One young man put himself on fire.
Yeah.
And it caused a revolution.
It goes the Arab Spring.
Exactly, the Arab Spring, right?
That's how the Arab Spring.
So when I look at this, I say when the time is ripe and ready, and we become true to the cause,
okay,
this will happen. Number
okay.
one. Number two, sad to say, according to Bible prophecy, persecution will drive us to places that we were not comfortable and where we don't want to go.
Okay.
You think about even how Christianity came. How did this country come?
Yeah, it's because of religious persecution in Europe.
Persecution in Europe.
Yeah.
Then this country was discovered. So you start thinking about how have most of the religions been carried from one place to another. It's religious persecution. And history repeats itself. And that's number one. Number two, the world has become a global village. And we use the term globalization.
Yeah.
Think global, act local.
Act local.
The amount of resources that are being smuggled by either any religion to the other parts of the where it's not. Pamphlets, booklets.
Okay.
Think about even when you start thinking about things like organizations like World Vision. You start thinking organizations like Peace Corps. I mean, Peace Corps is a government organization. Masterships. You start thinking about organizations like Catholic Charity. Think about Red Cross, Red Crescent for the Islam. You know, when you start thinking about all those institutions, the one thing that becomes clear is that it will get there. Okay. Now, the last point I'll make on that is this. One of the tools and the vehicles for the growth of Christianity has been campus ministries.
Okay.
Show me one place where you'll find all ethnicities and all religions in one.
On the campus.
Go to University of Minnesota.
Yeah. Everything.
Everybody.
You will get there.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Atheist.
Yeah.
Buddhist.
Yeah, they're there.
Everyone. You'll find them there.
Yeah.
And I think as people interact a lot, we learn from each other. Okay. Now, when I graduate, I'm an international student, and I go back to China, and maybe I received Christianity here.
You will take it there.
What am I taking? So I don't have to go there, but God will work His ways. It will be there for sure. The gospel will go to every part of the world.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I just need to be faithful in my part, and you be faithful in your part, and it will take care of itself.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it was. Thank you very much for accepting for our interview. Yes. We hope when we ask you next time, you will come. If you have any last word to say, you can say now.
I think the one thing that stands out to me is for the longest time I was ashamed of my Christianity. I was. But then I looked at other people who are very confident about who they are. You meet a Muslim, they are
very happy about them.
Very confident about them. And then, I used to think that I will not get a job. People will think me different. People will judge me. But here's a question. I sit around and I see people who are seated in high offices with their religion and their faith. And so one thing that I've come out to say is that true religion treats everyone equally, respects everyone. We don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree, but it respects your choice.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, for our Christian, let me speak to the immigrant church, because I belong to that group of people. The younger people here are living in two different worlds. There is the traditional Adventist, African Adventist. There is an African, there is an American in them, and there is the Christianity of America. 4 different identities, and this is confusing a lot of young people. It is confusing and throwing a lot of challenges, and I think that's part of the struggles that young people are facing. My counsel to us as a people and as a religion and as a group of as a Christian group is remember the first calling first. Christ mingled with everyone, regardless of the background. He cared for who they were first before saying X, Y, Z. Love and care for everyone, regardless of where they come from. Make it practical as possible. Christianity does not segregate on matters of career, does not segregate on matters of finance, does not segregate when it comes to issues. And these mental health, and these are the things that a lot of young people are dealing with. So when you think of a health program, we bring nurses and doctors and they treat us outside. I think realize that we are living in a context where there's a lot of pressures. Be practical, be relevant, be real, be true to yourself, and above all, be true to God, and everything will take care of itself. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your time. Hi, my name is Joshua Mandi, CEO, Managing Broker, Soft Learning Real Estate Services. We are located in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. We are a real estate company, and we serve the Twin Cities area and ETC environs. We provide services for sellers who want to sell homes and buyers who want to buy homes. Our excellent service speaks for itself. We have been in business for more than 18 years, serving metro area customers. If you want to buy a home or sell a home, feel free to call on us. We are member of National Association of Realtors, Minnesota Association of Realtors, and Minneapolis Association of Realtors. You will not be disappointed with our services. We promise our motto, we land you home softly. Thank you.